Hi everybody, and welcome to video 5 of Grunge Your Art. Now this is my design team project for LineDotArrow, and it's also a couple of other things. There's a series of challenges going on from the LineDotArrow Facebook group, which is LineDotArrow Junk Journals group, LineDotArrow Junk Journal group, and every week for 3 weeks you'll get some freebies in black and white, sepia, and color, and then you use those to make the challenge project or any project that you want. But the challenge projects are what's fun. Every week Natalie reveals or uploads a new video, and she shows you how to make the challenge, or one way to make the challenge project, and then you can go from there. Now if you use, there's a giveaway, and there's 5 groups involved in the giveaway, and that's LineDotArrow, of course, Haystack's Crafty Corner, Two Sisters Jam, Sweet Pea Papers, Junk Journal Tutorials, and more. Now if you want to enter in the giveaway, it's very easy. All you do is post in one of the 5 groups. If you were smart, you'd post in all 5 groups. Each group's giveaway has 3 prizes. So that gives you a chance to win 5 prizes, because you can only win once in each group. But that's still more than 1 prize, and it's a good good chance to do that. The way to enter the giveaway is easy. Like I said, you just post in each group and then use the hashtag GrungeYourArt, and then also in the post tell us whether you use just the freebies or a combination of the freebies and the kits. There's 5 kits for you to choose from, or get all 5, and then or just the kit papers. If you use just the freebies, then you get 1 entry into the drawing or slash wheel spin. Some groups are using different ways to do their randomizers. And then if you use the kit papers and the freebies, or just the kit papers, then you are, or I should say kits papers, then you get 2 entries per post. Alright, now you can have multiple pictures per post and it's still only 1 entry or 2 entries. If I were you, if I had multiple pictures of my project, I would make a post for each picture, and then you would get entry or entries for each picture. Now let's go on to the kits that we're going to be using. Oh, and all the links to all of that and all of the information is going to be below the video. Just click on the little more, the little word, the link, and then a bunch of information will drop down for you, and then you'll have everything that you need to know to participate in the, and get the giveaways, and get in the drawings, and do the challenges, and what groups are involved, and all that good stuff. Okay, so don't worry about it. Don't take notes. You don't have to. And so that's all I'm going to say on that. The kits that I'm going to be working from, like I said, there's 5 of them. There's the grunge background papers, and there's 30 pages in this kit. There's the same papers in black and white. There's 10 of those, sepia 10, and color there's 10. So like I said, I'm doing the black and white project, so I just printed out the black and white pages. So I used 10 pages from this kit. Then the collage pages, there's 22 pages in here, and I printed them out in black and white. The Grunge Junk Journal Kit, there's 22 pages in it, and I printed that out in black and white. And this is an actual full junk journal kit with pages, writing pages, background pages, and ephemera. Then there's the Grunge Ephemera pack, and I don't remember how many pages are in it, but I printed it out in black and white. And then the Grunge background papers, there's 30 of these, 10 in black and white, 10 in sepia, and 10 in color. So I printed out the black and whites. Alright, so that gives you 30, 60, 82, 104 plus this. How did I get this many? Anyway, plus the giveaway images for you to use. So it's a lot of paper, and you won't run out of inspiration or materials to work with. Okay, so now when we left off in video 4, I'm getting that down. I'm getting that little spiel down, but I do have to do it at the beginning of each video because of the giveaways and things and the freebies. When we left off in video 4, we had done pages 1, 2, 3, and I believe 4. And so in page 1, we needed a little decoration and a card, so I put a card in. Okay, now you have to push this all the way in if you're going to put a tab on. You have to be careful when you open it up, or the tab's going to hit. So you have to make sure you've got it pushed all the way in so that it's shorter than this edge right here. Alright, don't make your card stick out and then put a tab on it and have the tab stick out past here. You're going to run into big trouble. Alright, so then you open it, and we've got page 2, we got page 3 done, we got page 4 done, so now we're on page 5. And here's the stuff for page 5. I decided to make us an easy page so that we'd have something nice and easy to do in this particular section of the book. So this one is just going to be 2 pockets layered on the page so that they both fit. These are going to be the 2 pockets. These are the 2 cards. Oh goodness, I didn't ink anything. And we're going to cut the gusseted edge off of the pockets and make them flat pockets. And that way it will, we will only need the cards in the pocket. We won't need more stuff in there. We may put more stuff in, but that just depends. This is going to be our background paper. So let's go ahead and cut it. Makes it easier, doesn't it? The height's going to be correct already, so all we have to do is cut the width. The width's going to be just a little bit less than a full page. Now make sure your text is right side up when you start putting your pockets on. And you have to think about what your background's going to be on this page, because on page 5, when you close everything up, it shows. Okay, so you want to make sure it's something that goes really well with, I mean, they all go if you're doing the black and white, but if you're not, then you want to make sure that these all kind of go together, the edges, to make a nice front to your book or your section. Okay, so we've got that all inked. Let's cut the gussets off of this, or off of these. You know, we could leave them wider if we just cut the bottom one off. That would be too wide for the tags though, wouldn't it? So let's do all 3. You're just going to cut across the dotted line that you normally would fold in to make a gusseted pocket. And a gusseted pocket just has little side pieces that make it stick out a little bit more so that you can fit more inside. You'll notice I almost always cut the gussets off unless I'm going to make a stuffed pocket. You'll also notice this matches that piece that we put on the page previous. Now, when we do these, we're actually going to overlap the pockets a little bit so that they both fit. Let me go ahead and ink these while I'm talking. Because the cards are kind of tall. So if we want to be able to have both cards on the page without one sticking up off the top, then we have to do the second pocket, or in other words, the top pocket, down pretty far. So the bottom pocket is going to have to overlap the pocket just a little bit. So we're going to have to put the top pocket on first, and then we'll put the bottom pocket on. I think the backs of these, oh yeah, they're gray. At some point, I'll put a little stamp or something on the back. But I wanted to get caught up with the cards. Oh, I forgot to say that I put a black card on the sliding belly band. And so I made a black card and I stenciled it in white on the front, and I left the back black to be written on with a white pen. So, yeah, so that's in there. And then we'll have this as page 5, and then page 6 starts on the other side. I did have something made for page 5 or set aside for page 5. Then I realized it was the very back, and not only that, it would have opened the wrong way, kind of, because it would show. So I decided to move that page to page 6. Okay, we're going to do this pocket on the bottom. So we're going to put it here, and then we're going to put this one here, I think. Mm-hmm. I think, whoa, I think you'll like page 6. It's going to be pretty fun. And see, this kind of matches that. And we'll put this on, and then we'll have the 2 tags that we're not going to put in the pockets until the glue dries. Especially on that first one, I got a little carried away. And this one's going to go in the corner. And overlap that one by that much. But it's still open, so you'll be able to put the card in and out. Let's just double check this real quick. Yes, that'll be fine. Okay, so then we will glue this to the book. Looking all around for the book, I couldn't remember where I put it. Wanted to make sure I'd inked the page, which of course I did because I couldn't ink it until I cut it. Well, I guess I could have inked the top and the bottom because the height was correct in one side. I could have inked. But I think this is a good half to a one of these kind of journals. It's really close to that glue, isn't it? Now I'll go back and put something here and something here in between the videos. Okay. Pull this out a little bit just to make sure it isn't touching the very bottom. Now we're going to go on to page 6, which I think is going to be fun. I haven't done one like this for a long time. Since one of my lap books from quite a while back. Keep the acetate and the dye together. Okay, now what we want to do, so you want to cut the paper, and I want this side with the lady on it. I want it to go like that. I flipped it over this way instead of flipping it this way so that I'm keeping what I want on the paper. Now this is going to be a full sized, so it's going to be half of the paper, or right thereabouts, depending on how far in I put it from this. Yeah, that isn't exactly the center. Okay. Sorry about the ink and glue all over my fingers. I've been busy, busy, busy. I did 3 videos yesterday. And I'm on my second one. This is my second one today. Got my kitty cat hand warmers on with my hands sticking out. So I guess they're my arm warmers. I turned my heater off. It may kick back on. I don't think the fan is loud enough to hear, but I did turn it off because of that. Okay, so we've got this. We're going to keep it marked as the paper, so we don't get confused. We're going to have quite a few pieces cut. Now remember, we want to attach this to the left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a flip out with a specimen slide in the flip out built in. Okay, so we need to make our flip out first. Let me get rid of this part of this paper. This was a scrap that I had. Okay. So now let's mark how wide we want the flip out, and then we have to add a 1/2 inch, you know, for it to fold under. So first we have to measure the height, because remember these are a little bit shorter. So we need to mark the height. Then we're going to mark the width. It's not going to be the full width of the page. It's only going to go out to, say, here. Yeah, don't forget to get you a, or purchase a, don't forget to get you. Don't forget to purchase a chalk pencil. You really need one. Doesn't necessarily have to be pastel chalk. You know what I did? I forgot to take into account the 1/2 inch. Now it's going to be too narrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the height. We're going to score it on the left at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to measure our width. So let's cut it for the height. Can't believe I did that. I just said it out loud too. I bet you guys were yelling, no! So now we're going to score this at 1/2 inch on the left side. Well, it doesn't matter. We could just flip it over, but let's try to keep everything straight. Silly. I need to flip the paper over. So we're going to score our 1/2 inch. Sorry about that. I forgot to put my phone in the living room again. I was talking to my friend. I have a friend Well, Natalie that designed these kits that lives in the Netherlands, and I just think that's so cool having a friend halfway around the world. My time zone is -8. Her time zone is +1. So we're 9 hours apart. So we're either chatting at 10 o'clock at night, or, for me, or at 3 in the morning. Or earlier, or even earlier. Alright, so we've got that on there. Now let's measure for our flip out. Okay. And push that up just a little bit so we can see to measure. Okay. I want to get the width enough to get a decent sized window. Okay, now we need to cut the papers for the front and the back. Okay? In this case, they're going to be the same piece of paper that we cut them from. So let's cut this one. Look at that. Look how crooked that is. Okay. So we're going to put this here. And on the front, look at that. Oh, because we moved it up a little bit to have a border. On the front, we're going to glue it on first. On the back, we're not. But we're going to cut the holes. So, well, let's do the width. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, there goes my heater. It is pretty chilly in here. I checked it before and it didn't show on the recording, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it off anyway. Burr for me. Yay for you. Okay, so let's ink this. And then we're going to glue it on. Is it going to work? I think it's going to make the same difference. You should do it without it being glued on. We need to make another piece this size. I don't know why I'm inking this. I guess just to see how cool it's gonna look. And this ended up being a little narrower than I thought it was gonna be. I wanted it a little bit wider. I didn't take into account in my mind how much narrower the paper would be. So let's take the other side, which is going to be the back, and I'm going to take it from this side over here. And we're going to make it this long, this wide. Okay, now we're going to have to decide what size die we're going to use. Let me go ahead and ink this before I forget, since I already inked the other one. We're going to have to ink the windows anyway, but still. We're going to have to make a sandwich out of these and then cut right through. So each one's going to have to face out with the black in the middle, like an Oreo cookie. Like a backwards Oreo cookie. Okay? So now we're going to want one like this. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use my skinny washi. And I made up a bunch of these black whale tabs. I have a die that will cut these, not the punch one. I wonder if this is going to work all right. Because the front one, you can't glue it on, but it does need to be on front ways on here. So we'll do that. And then the back one, that's loud enough you would have been able to hear it if it was in the living room, and I wouldn't have been able to swipe it off. Okay, then the back one is going to be the same way, only we're going to put the dark splop on the top. We can't glue them because we have to put the acetate in between. So we can't glue them down, or else we won't be able to put the acetate on. Let's hope all this tape doesn't get too smushed down in the big shot, because it sure does squish everything down. Okay, now let's get our die. And it looks like, wow, that one's too big. Okay, we're going to put it on face with the blades facing down. And I think, let's see, which way's the top? This is going to go on, it's going to be the top. I think this part up here looks like it should be the top, which is very arbitrary. I'm going to use this ugly washi. Oh, I'm getting ready to do a review for BB Craft, and I'm going to be getting a package of 100, I think it's 100, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100 rolls of miscellaneous washi. Just because, you know, the 150 rolls of washi that I have now are just not enough. Okay, I'm going to have to do this off screen because I'm going to put it on the table. Can't put it on the glass surface, it slides around. So I'm going to put my little Oreo cookie in here. And hope that everything comes out a-okay. I'm going to run it through 4 times just because it's going through that 3 pieces of cardstock, of 65-pound cardstock, just to make sure it gets cut all the way through. So that means forwards through once and then back, and then forwards through once and then back. Let's see how our sandwich did. And we're also, well, cut all the way through. We're also going to need to label them, the 2 decorative papers. We're going to need to label these front and back. So this is going to be, let's just lightly write a B on here for back. Okay, so let's untape this one. Do it carefully, you don't want to rip your paper. Because see, did you hear that? So now I've got this paper, and then I should have the black paper since it cut the front one, then I know it cut the middle one. So now I've got 3 cards to use for something else or somewhere else. And then I've got my back. I've got my front. And this is my top. This is my top. So then we're going to take them off one at a time. Let's cut my fingernails off. Okay. I'm going to take this off. We're going to ink it. Then we're going to put acetate on this one. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it covers way up or not, because we're not going to have a pocket or anything. You know what I mean? So we don't have to worry about paper hitting it on the way in and out. We just want to make sure it's wide enough that we have room to glue. Either one of these could be it, so this one we'll use for the other one. Then we're going to put the glue on here. Kind of messed up on the glue, and I just barely got that to fit on there. Okay, so now this one we can glue down. So those little spider webs. Okay, so we need this up a little bit and over a little bit so that it lines up with the black. Remember, you've inked this black, so okay. So now we've got that. So now we're going to, wow, I almost did it, didn't I? Got washi tape, Fabri-Tac to my finger with black paper stuck on the end of it. Okay, so now we're going to look at this piece. I'm going to carefully take the washi off. Do you see why we had to have both pieces on? Because they have to be mirror images of each other. You can't put the two pieces right side up on top of each other and cut them and then flip it over and line it up, because this is not an even window. Now, if this was just a rectangle, you could do that, but it's not. So you have to match the shapes up. So we're going to ink this window. Just out of habit, I went over there to get ink, and I know for sure that I have enough black ink on here to get all the way around. Okay, this is the bottom. So that's going to go down here. We want to put our acetate on. Which I literally had the glue bottle sitting on top of. Duh. Let's glue it on. I did pick some flowers, even though you wouldn't think grunge would have flowers. There are butterflies and flowers on this kit. But they're white or off-white. And technically they're wheat. Oh, no, I thought this was going to be wide enough. There we go. Whew. Sometimes with Fabri-Tac you can take your fingernail and scrape it right off. Yeah, this one was barely wide enough to fit on here, and the glue was just a little too far in, but we rescued it. Okay. I have to take a drink of pop. So now we're going to take our flowers and in fact, let's lay them on this side. I guess it doesn't matter. Static electricity is going to take care of it for us. Then we'll glue this paper on. Then we'll glue the flap on. And we will have it done and glue it in the book. Pretty cool, huh? Specimen side in a flap. Some of you may not have seen this before. I am sure that someone else has done this. There's no way that I would have been the first person to think this one up. You want to make sure your flowers kind of spread out and stay where you want them to stay. Then that black in between, this black paper in between, gives you just a little bit of a gap. And you're going to want to make sure this paper's lined up, which this looks like it is. Got kind of lucky on that one. And I got just a little bit of glue right here. Okay. I'm going to use the black ink right here. I don't know why that made a little bit of a white mark. Okay. I was going to say, and look what I did. A little piece of washi tape stuck on there still. I was like, why is there green? There we go. So now we'll glue this onto here. I did not put a magnet on there. So it looks like we're going to have to do one of our avant-garde. You like that foam? I don't. Let's keep the volume up because they usually keep it in the other room. I need to be able to hear it. Oh goodness, somebody in the chat room must be going. We may even end up having to use a Velcro dot, a black Velcro dot on this, because of the stiffness of the stem on there. And some glue seepage we can either rub off. which I think would be the better idea for some reason. When I used the glue eraser, it made a white spot. Not really sure how that happened, or there's not even any white. This paper, the core is black. It's black all the way through. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we'll put something down here. And then maybe over here. I'm not sure. I really like that page. Then I'll put a black Velcro dot right here. And it's gonna dot her. So I'll have to put a clear one, and that way the dot on her won't show. Okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the bone folder to this and see if I can get it to lay down a little bit flatter. It's really lumpy where the flowers are. And there's a little bit of an area right there where the stems go through. I should have trimmed it off because it pulled the window apart a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to finish it up off camera. So I'm going to put the white Velcro dot on. I'm going to put a little bit of a ephemera on here. Okay. And then I'm going to glue it in the book, and then it'll be done. Those 3 things you don't need to see me do. You know how to do those 3 things. Okay? Alright, well that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.